A client is prescribed heparin, 18 units per kilogram per hour. The client weighs 150 pounds. The pharmacy supplies heparin, 25,000 units per 250 milliliters. Which rate will the nurse set the pump in milliliters per hour, round to the first decimal place? Alright, so I'm going to start this problem like I do all my other ones. What is it asking? It's asking which rate will the nurse set the pump in milliliters per hour. So I know what I'm looking for, and I already have it right here, so I don't have to write it out, because that right there is going to remind me of what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm going to start with my milliliters on top. I'm going to look at my problem. Where in my problem does it have milliliters? Well, I know that I have 25,000 units per 250 milliliters on hand. So I'm going to tie that in down here. 250 over 25,000 units. It just flipped, because I know that right here is 25,000 units over 250 milliliters, but for my problem I need my milliliters on top. So that's why I have flipped my problem, to get my milliliters on top. Just to explain that a little bit. Okay, so now I need to get rid of this units. So I'm going to bring my units up here. Put my U for units. I'm going to look back at my problem. Where in my problem does it say anything about units? Well, I know that my order calls for 18 units per kilogram per hour. There's my units. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm just going to tie that in. So on the top it's just asking for units. So that's why I just take this right here and put it on top. Because on my top, the only thing I need up there is my units, because I took this unit and brought it up. But this whole thing right here goes together, so it has to stay together. So I'm going to take my kilograms per hour, and put that on my bottom. Okay, so I know my units have canceled. Do I have to do anything with this hour here? Nope, because now I have my milliliters per hour, but I still have to get rid of my kilogram. So I'm going to take this kilogram, I'm going to bring it up. Where in my problem does it say anything about kilograms? It doesn't, but I know that there's a conversion to make kilograms from pounds. My client weighs 150 pounds, so I could do my conversion, 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds. So now my kilograms have canceled. I'm left with my pounds. So that gives me the opportunity to bring up my pounds. So I'm going to take the 150 pounds in my problem, put it in my equation, and now I'm going to do my math. So I'm going to do 250 times that by 18, times that by 150, and then you're going to do the bottom, 25,000, and then 2.2. So that gives me 12.27 milliliters per hour, but I'm still not finished, because now I still have to round to the first decimal place. So I have to round to here. I know this 7 is greater than 5, so that's going to take my 2 and bump it up to a 3. So my answer is 12.3 milliliters per hour. 12.3 milliliters per hour. And that is how you get that one. Now for number 3 can be a little tricky, but we're going to work through it. The order is for the client to receive a heparin drip of 900 milliliters per hour. Available to the nurse is 250 milliliters D5W with 250 units of heparin. The IV tubing delivers 10 drops per milliliter. how many units of heparin will the client receive per hour? So what is it asking me for? What do I need to look for? Units per hour. So I'm going to write that down. I'm looking for units per hour. What am I going to start with? Units. So on my dimensional analysis, I'm going to put my U up here, because that is what I'm starting with in my problem. So where in the problem does it say anything about units? Well, I see here that 250 milliliters has 25,000 units in it, so I can use that. 25,000 units over 250 milliliters. So now I need to get rid of this milliliter, so I'm going to bring it to the top. So where in my problem does it have milliliters? And this part right here is where you can get tripped up. I'm going to show you how you can get tripped up. So there's 2 milliliters here. There's a 900 milliliters per hour, and there's a 10 drops per milliliter. So, for example, if I use this 10 drops per milliliter, I put my milliliter up here and my 10 drops down here. Okay, if I continued my problem, I would have to bring my drops up here. But looking back at the problem, how am I going to cancel out my drops? Because there's nothing else in this whole entire problem that gives you anything about drops for you to be able to cancel those two out. So I already know I can't really use that one, because it's just going to get me stumped up. So I'm going to go back. I know this one's out. I can't use that. That's just extra information that they added in there to trip you up. That's all that is. So now I'm going to try my 900 milliliters per hour. Put my 900 on top and my 1 hour on bottom. My milliliters cancel out, and I'm left with units per milliliter. Is exactly what I need. So I'm going to do my math. 25,000. I'm going to times that by 900. Gives you a big old number. You just divide that by 250. That gives me 90,000 units per hour. And that right there is your answer. That's how you get it. So let's move